Hi crafters, and welcome to Technique of the Week. Now this one's going to be a quick one. We're getting some rain here right now, and I don't know if we have storms coming in. We missed the storms overnight, but don't know if there's storms coming in, so I want to get this recorded quickly and get my computer unplugged just in case. All right, this week we're talking about torn edges. Now torn edges can be fun. Depending on the materials you use. Let me show you. Here we have, and I'm going to cut this off for you. Here we have our regular 8.5 by 11 colored cardstock. Now, our cardstock, our traditional cardstock, is core colored, or color all the way through. I don't know what they call it. The core of the paper when you rip it is the same as what the color is throughout. So it's saturated through. The core is the same color as your cardstock. Now, our two-tone cardstock, now this is the same. This is Old Olive. Where's that? Granny Apple? No, that's Old Olive. Old Olive in cardstock. Here's Old Olive in our two-tone cardstock. Now, this is not core colored. This is a white core. So when you rip it towards you, you get that white base. So traditional cardstock, the 8.5 by 11, and the 12 by 12 two-tone cardstock. Much different in the way it looks. All right, once you have this two-tone, now I did stamp, and I don't know if you can see it very well. Oh, it does show up well. So here I have, this is from the what is it? I just did a video on it just an hour ago. Untouched Landscapes. Love, love, love. It's a standalone stamp set. So what I did was I went ahead and I cut it. I should have used a dark color, but I didn't. All right, I'm going to show you what you can do with this. So I'll put my finger over the stamped area because I don't want to rip that off. And then I'm tearing towards me. Remember, when you tear towards you, you'll get that white border. If you tear away from you, you're not going to see it as much. You'll get a little bit of a white border, but it's not going to be as stark, as prominent. So what I'm doing is I'm just putting my thumb over where that stamped image is, and I am tearing. Sorry. I'm going to show you a finished card so you can see what I'm trying to do here. But then again, and if I had done the ink a little darker, it would be easier to see. But with the rainy weather and with that color, that ink color being so close, it's not as easy to see. But here you go. So there you can see. Now let me show you, if you saw my video from earlier this morning, I did do a card. Let me grab it out from my pile over here, where I used that Untouched Landscapes, and I stamped in different colors. This is also a different color here. I don't know if you can see because it's against that pink or peach background. But so here I stamped these all in different color cardstock. Now this is the two-tone because you see the white edges, and I ripped along and then layered them for that scene. So that's one of the advantages to your colored cardstock. Another fun thing about ripping the edge is that you can take your Versamark and your embossing powder, and you could try to make it look aged. I'm going to show you what I mean right here. So here's what we just ripped off, right? So I'm going to take my Versamark pad, and I'll do both of these. I'll do both the regular cardstock and the two-tone. Now, I'm going to do one at a time because my Versamark pad's not as juicy as it used to be. All right, so there I have taken that edge, that ripped edge, and I put it in the Versamark. Now I'm going to put embossing powder on top of that. Let me go ahead to get off that extra. Ooh, I didn't get a little on the edge there. And I might not have got much Versamark on the edge. All right, so let's do this one first, and then we'll come back and we'll do the two-tone color stock. Let me get all that powder back in there. All right, so here we have, and I don't know how loud the gun will be, the heating gun. So I'm gonna bring it over here just to get it warmed up. Alright, let me get, it hasn't turned right there. I don't know if I got any powder in there on that one. Doesn't look like I did. Alright, I didn't do a very good job. But can you see how... And now I've overheated it, so let me show you again. Let me do this a little bit better. All right. It really depends on how far down your ripped edge goes. Let's try this again. Like I said, I have an old Versamark pad, so it could also be that my Versamark pad is pretty dry. Let's see. There we go. Let's see. I might have gotten a little bit better now. Oops. Uh-oh. Did you see that powder fly? All right. Let me go ahead, put the lid back on real quick. You know what? Let me get some of this. Let me get this pushed more to the edge so I can just drop that right into my container. All right, that's a little bit better. Let's go ahead and let's do this edge too. Now this is going to be a little bit, because this is just a tiny bit. The weight is just a little bit different than our traditional cardstock, our 8.5 by 11. So this paper, although solid, is not as solid as our core color core cardstock. So the white core cardstock is, I'm not going to say it's flimsy, but it is lighter. The weight is not as heavy as our color all the way through cardstock. And so that's just going to give you a different texture, a different look. All right. Again, let me grab that little Oh, I think I just threw it away. Let me get this back into the container. I should have used my tidy tray, but I didn't. All right. Let's go ahead. Let's do this again. We'll start first with the two-tone cardstock. Get my gun heated up out of the picture just a little bit. And let's go ahead. Alright, do you see that? And let's do this one. I'm going to do this one from the bottom. Maybe I won't overheat it as much. Because what you have to remember with this when you're embossing on these edges is that you've already broken down the fibers in this cardstock by ripping it. So you're not going to get a real smooth line, but if you want like that old kind of aged, worn look, it'll work really good. All right, so we show you how to rip core color cardstock, our two-tone cardstock. Let's show you what you can do with it after you've done that. Now, I'm going to take a piece. This is white willow, and I'm going to rip it just a little bit like this. I'm going to take another piece of white willow, and let me grab, let's see how much I have left on this brush. All right, so you have that. If you want a different look, let's grab my orange. We'll do our Roy G. Biv look a little bit. Now you can come back in with this if you want to. You can turn this over because we're just using this as a mask, right? So let's get my yellow. Now rip a little bit more. Let me get my green, see what I have left of my green brush. Not a lot. Let me get my blue. That blue brush is really dry. You see that? Let me push a little bit more on the head, see what I can get out of it. There we have a little bit more of a definite line. Let's rip it again. Now all these pieces that are colored too, you could then layer on a piece of cardstock and have another interesting background. All right, so let's see. Now I have to go to, let's see, I don't think I have anything left on this one. Oh, there's a little bit. I can see it hitting that torn edge. And then last but not least, oh, maybe that's the last I have. I lost my indigo there somewhere. So then, if you wanted to, you could go like this and finish off, if we're doing this like a sunset look, sunset landscape look. Let's go back up over the green. This is also a fun look to do around the 4 edges of your cardstock and make like a frame. All right, so now I'm just going to carefully blend that little white line just a little bit, because these two are not by each other on the color wheel, so they'll make brown together. But there, look at that beautiful background. So let me move some of this from my earlier video. Let's get our scenic sunset coast. I don't think I have any. I have a lot of the greens, but I don't think I have any of these cut out. So let's cut one of these out real quick with one of these pieces I just have laying around here. Let's use this green. I'm going to use my mini on this just because I just want to do it a little bit quicker. You know what? I don't want to use the green. Let me use this blue. And let's just rip a piece off so it's small enough to go through the mini. All right. I'm using a magnetic. When you get this, you'll get the base and you'll get the 2 3s. I'm using a magnetic mat. I like using magnetic mat, so I use the baby, the mini, only because to me it really helps keep that die in place on that small cutting surface. Do a little walk the dog here, go back and forth, back and forth. Did any of you ever play with a yo-yo? All right, let me put this little baby back over there. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take my scissors. I don't see where my snips are, so I'm just going to quickly do this. All right. I'm really making a pile over here. You should see it. All right. Yeah, I think I want to. These scissors are what we used to buy when we had to, I would trim down clear mount my red rubber even more so. All right. So let's just put a little bit of glue on there. We'll let it settle just briefly. Let me see how big this is. This is 4 by 5 1/4. Let me go ahead. Hang on one second. Okay, sorry about that. My husband was motioning me for my door, so I didn't know if there was something going on. Nothing going on. So let's go ahead, finish this up so we can wrap up this video and get on to our week. I usually record these on Sundays and release them on Sundays. But there may be a point, because it's technique of the week, and on a calendar, the week officially starts as Sunday. We all know, those of us who work full-time jobs, that the week really starts on Monday. And we have to go back to work. Boo. I have to be really careful too. I think my camera's battery is getting really low. Just making sure all that good Secret Sea ink gets on there. Hopefully this glue didn't dry completely. Let me grab out, see what color bases I have in here. Oh, I do have a blue one. Oh, that looks like it's an old Starry Sky base. I don't think that's Blueberry Bushel. But there, you can see, there is the finished card. So using those torn edges to create a background. So again, here we have the different, I don't know, everything's all messed around here. Here we go. Here you have, that's what I did earlier with silver. Here you have the gold. Here you have how we tore it apart. Oh my gosh, I have quite a mess. I usually don't like having things. I like to have a little bit of a cleaner look. And then here we have that to show all those torn edges. All right, is that all getting in the picture? I can't tell. All right, there you are. There's your technique of the week, torn edges. Go ahead and give me that thumbs up if you don't mind. Share on your social media. Subscribe if you haven't already. I hit 500. I think I'm at 501. So let's give me a little bit of a cushion there and go beyond 501. Thanks everyone for all your support. Have a great week. Bye for now.